Item number 5 is really just kind of a cleanup deal, I guess. I looked it up. Back in January, this proposed, it's in your package, we allocated a 3-year distribution to Loretta got $5,000, Bearsville got $2,500, and Raywick got $1,250 from a 3-year pool of ADF funds. But to make those numbers even and nice and round, we had to put a little subsidy money from the county, and I was going to make that up out of my general welfare funds. The back page of your handout shows how that was to be made up, $358. Well, Mayor Elam got his check directly from Lincoln Trail, and it was $2,100 and change. You know, that was the amount prorated to them, and he basically wanted to know where's the other $318. And I said, well, I guess I owe it to you. So if the court would allow me, this is just kind of a cleanup to the amount that we allocated back last year to fulfill the full commitment.
Motion is let the judge do a cleanup on his.
Second.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Unanimous.
And on that same line, I put a page in there that we actually did in September last year when it was just a 1-year accumulation, and the round numbers this year were $1,500 for Loretta, $750 for Bearsville, and actually $350 for Raywick. And that was going to require a little bit of subsidy from me as well, but not much. I guess we're down to the department reports. Tommy, you got a big report here and had a lot of things that I think you've actually exempted or deleted a couple of things, but
Yes, sir, I was going to put the hold on the tires because I've looked on the internet and found a few other options. I don't know if it's a better option, it's cheaper, but it may be a cheaper product, so I was just going to look into that. One thing I forgot to mention before was that we do have a 100-ton salt. We shouldn't need it, and we have actually taken our snow plows and brackets and things and put them up, so I hope we don't need it.
No, it's not full. But is it close?
No, it's very small.
Yeah, what is it, $7,200 worth of salt, something like that? Was it 72 or something like that?
It'll hold about 12 times that.
yeah, a little bitty pound, a big building in it.
Yeah,
Maybe in July it might be cheaper.
but my hiring list that I put in my report hasn't changed. It's okay with y'all, I'd like to hire those 3 men.
Motion to hire 3 people, Tom has recommended.
Second.
We really need to be careful of that. This is a special meeting, and
Oh.
unless that's specifically set forth, then we probably need to defer that to either the next regular meeting or a next special meeting where it can specifically go on the agenda.
It's, okay. It's not on the agenda, it's in his report, but that wouldn't be the same, but.
My bad. Jackie, you should have caught that. You did last time.
Well, he's here now, so.
Last meeting, we approved Tommy to go ahead and hire those 3 or for the hiring of them, but
Right, well, if you approved it the last meeting, then, you know, there's not a reason to do it.
to defer, or
If we did it last meeting, we don't need it this meeting, do we?
well, what we've got in the minutes,
Advertisement, I think.
what we had in the minutes was approved for 2 full-time positions and 1 part-time positions. One was CDLs,
Okay.
but you know, it didn't name them. We approved the hiring of them.
Should I rescind that motion, Joe?
Yeah, you can't take action on
All right.
the
So we'll have to defer to the 17th. I guess that's a good reason to go ahead and do it next week. So I guess these other ones, as far as the truck recommendation and purchase, actually we'll have to defer that too,
And
because you can't do it during department meetings as okay.
The culverts as well. Got them on there too.
That's fine.
Well, you got your report for next week anyway.
Yeah.
All righty. Well, I guess we'll go on to the solid waste report.
I have one more addition to my written report that I always submit. Masterson had a lane between St. Francis and Raywick that had 3 houses on it that needed addressing. We did the addresses, but we needed the name. And when I got the name, that particular road should be H.E. Cook Road, C-O-O-K. H period, E period, Cook.
This could be another deferral.
It's a lane.
Yeah, we'll have to wait on it too, Keith.
On a road,
Yes.
it's a dead end.
H-E Cook.
Put it off for next time.
That completes yours.
Thank you, buddy.
Okay, do you have anything else you want to bring up, Keith? Is that all you need to report?
Unless you have any questions.
No, good report, Keith.
Don't think so. I think we're going to be kind of limited on what we can act on. Okay, the detention center, Barry?
Should have things up earlier, but anyway, kind of looking at our stats from 7 months ago, as far as our revenue and counts, and it's a significant change, so hopefully it'll
Continue.
help us look at a positive year this year, but you know how that was, we looked positive last year. Depends on what the state does with it. But what I want to show you with it there is that, first off is today's count. On the first section of there shows our counts back in good shape with 290, and our Marion County counts at 27. That's a big deal for us, as long as we got paying customers versus the other ones. But on the second page, you're going to see there where I've got typically what the August, and I start with that 2013 count was at 247. And then if you drop down right below that, I put the actual revenues of both of March 2014 and August of 2013, 7 months difference. And then, taking that into consideration, you move to the third page, and we got a graph. So the third page and the fourth page, you need to kind of pull them out side to side there. Look at it. The one in the blue is our count, and it shows, from March of last year to March of this year, and it shows where the IOP kind of started with the state's initiative lowering the count, how the state count dropped, and how it started climbing back up, and then of course it's kind of got to at a pretty steady number again. We have it on February, you're going to be dropped there a little bit just because you're short a couple, 3 days on the month, 2 days on the month there. But if you look at the state, right there, we kind of calculated at an average of what our kind of, state didn't like us using lost revenue, but we use the word ungenerated revenue. But it was $439,000 if our count would have stayed at any kind of a steady pace for the last year. There's $430,000. Right now, we've got $320 from the general fund put over into the account. But on the contrary, if our count would have been as what we anticipated, we would have never had the deficits, or we never would have had the downturn that we had. But then when you look over at the red chart, you're looking at the state, and that's an actual state chart. Now, the wording below that chart is specifically mine. That's nothing but the state, but I went ahead and penciled and took some time to map out the mandates on that year's time for the state. And the year time for the state saved paying out to the county was like $7,784,000 is what they're reduced paying in. So, one of the things that they kept trying to tell us is, well, we're saving tax dollars at the state. But, and we're interested in saving tax dollars at the state. We just hate losing the tax dollars, the revenue at the county level.
Right.
At the county level. It makes it, whether we save the state's things here. Nonetheless, the report here is to kind of look at what we've done. It has come back. We've got it's steadied out. And hopefully, again, Kevin, I'm not going to jinx it this year, but it does look better than it did, but it looked good last March too. But we'll just have to wait and see how the year goes. But it's definitely back in the air where we can
breathe
create
again.
some positives with our budget. So other than that, everything's running fine. I do have one thing that we'll have to put on next week's budget. As we discussed the other day when we had the meeting with me, you and Tommy, is the parking lot extending our area for at least putting down the pad for putting the parking lot in. I think it's about $4,200, but we need to put that on next week's agenda for the court to allow us to use the road department to do that.
Is that for additional parking or
We're gonna kind of go out in the flat in front of
just
the,
for curiosity? We don't need any more employee parking, do we?
no,
Want to make sure.
no, it's not additional employee department, it's just trying to survive.
Yeah, you need it, you
It's
definitely,
right, you most definitely need
you
it.
need it.
I know.
You can't find a parking spot.
But that's one thing you all have to put on the agenda and hopefully vote on next week. So, other than that, the numbers look better, so.
Looks good.
All right,
Good job, Mr. Brady.
good job.
Don't clap too quick, Steve. I mean,
Listen.
Kevin said do not.
You got quiet I did that?
Huh?
Got quiet I did that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, we'll wait to see what next year does, how the state does.
Good job, Mr. Brady.
It looks good anyway.
This might be something that the court could inquire about and help out on. Jailer Brady, is the grant submission, has it been through final scoring, or you said you should know something
We're
pretty
hoping
soon?
to hear this month, so.
Is there any pro or con to making any kind of a contact with our legislators to encourage positive review of that, or do you think they would have any input?
We've made some contacts, and I know that, of course, you and I kind of wore a few doors out this past 6 months in Frankfurt, but it's up to the commission now. I've got a list of the commission, the folks' names on the commission. I could probably, what I'll do is put that together and share that with the court, and most definitely, anybody that's on there you know that we can call or ask for support, we'll need their vote. But I'll make that available next week, Judge.
Sounds good.
Or between now and next week, I'll get it to you so you can get it sent out to the manager.
Thank you very much, Barry.
That's why we have the best jailer in the state.
All right. You did good.
That's right. I tell the truth.
Robbie, EMS?
Currently, we're at 656 runs for the year. I don't know what our other numbers is. I just want to thank you all for the fire dog stuff. Thank Max. Brother there, he went above where I could get. So I would have to say my committee does stick their feet in, even Mr. Elder, who isn't here. He's known about this for a few days, and he's close contact with you guys. I don't know if he did or
Took about 3 hours of negotiation there.
I saw the
Really
smoke
did.
signals, but the wind took them away before I could read them.
Other than that, I do have constructors in the shop right now that had to get some work done on. But other than that, we're running fine. We're
Good.
very busy.
Good job.
I will say we've been extremely busy this year, things like. Let's go ask the questions.
No?
Sounds
No,
good.
sir.
Sounds good. Thank
Good
you.
job.
Okay, Hayden, emergency
Only
management?
I've got is your please know we're required to either conduct or participate in at least 4 exercises a year. And just myself attending some of them gives us that credit. There's one next week, is 4 days, it's the state launch communications exercise, we get credit for that. I've been asked from the Lincoln County on the 24th to observe and evaluate an exercise, another county. And the senior officers won't have an exercise, we need to plan, so we talked about that.
Maybe.
Thank you, Hayden.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Johnson, I should say.
A lot of this is going to participate with.
I know all the different walks and runs and different great activities require a lot of extra support from police and fire, ambulance, and rescue. Hopefully not too much, but hopefully everything goes uneventful. Okay, animal control. Steve, you and Larry had some contact, I guess, with the animal
Yeah, we
department.
talked to them, everything's going well, and they had to go to, one of the schools had some kind of demonstration, science fair, some kind of, and they're there at that today, participating in that with the students, and, but she said everything's going well out there. Everything's doing good.
Good deal. Okay, we'll go over the bills just for a second. The old business, most of you are familiar with these activities, and I guess we did put this on the agenda. I guess maybe we can do some action on this one, Tom. Last week, we did approve Tommy to go ahead and research some pricing for, I guess, a new sanitation truck. I have more information there than you really needed. Tommy turned in quite a bit, and I put it all in your packet. But he had condensed it in the back of his packet to make the recommendation down to just one specific truck, equipped one compactor. The packet that you had two different trucks, a Freightliner and International and a New Way, and had, I guess, both compactors will each. But Tommy, do you want to speak to that just a little bit?
Yeah, well, I was considering the leach compactor, but it was like 8,000 pounds. And there's a few things I can take off to reduce it. In the end, it seems like the New Way is the best way to go. And then the International is like $600 higher than the Freightliner, but the Freightliner requires the urea. And we haven't had to get one of those trucks yet. For $600, I think it would be a good reason to stay away from it at least another year or two.
What's your recommendation there, Tommy?
Lee,
What's your recommendation?
to purchase the International garbage truck with the New Way compactor for $130,234.32.
I seen one of the bids, they looked the same, but one of them, it actually was $129,434.
That's a Freightliner truck. It's about $600 cheaper from the Freightliner.
And then, okay, then the third, okay.
But it has the urea.
They look
stack.
exactly,
Yeah.
So we need to wait next week, or?
It's on
It's on
the,
the agenda, isn't it? Motion to
we
pass.
did that one.
Motion to buy the
Second.
truck.
Now, this is something that'll actually be paid for after July 1, though, right?
We can pay it next fiscal year.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Unanimous.
We did that same thing last year and deferred actually payment until it rolled over to July 1. So we'll know the actual number to put in the budget for that item, so. Okay, item 8B is just kind of a follow-up. You all participated via me through the annual Heroes campaign. It's just a thank you letter from the 3-county Heart of Kentucky Red Cross for appreciation for that. 8C is just a heads up. Well, I do have the budget in process, and I guess probably 1st of May you'll get a copy of the next year's budget that we'll start hammering and tweaking on for next year. This is the same. This was an increase actually from the previous year. This PBA contribution. We clicked over another, I guess, depends on whose numbers you're reading. We're over the 20,000 mark on the between census tabulations, and that's what they use to base. Plus the primary trigger is the assessed value of the property combined in the county. If you look at the 3rd page in there of that letter, it shows how they calculated that. It used to be when I came in, we were at 35,000, the contribution to the PBA office, but our assessment's gone up, so they get more money because they do more work. I guess it kind of follows, makes sense. 8D is just a little follow-up on a proclamation that had to happen in between meetings. Jody Benningfield with the Forestry Service always comes in, and usually does it right before a meeting. Of course, we had our first meeting in April. We probably would have done it then, but rolled back a little bit later. Arbor Day proclamation. That's just an annual thing that we do.
Need a motion of that?
Yeah, we can approve that.
Motion to approve?
Even though it's already happened, we'll
Yeah.
approve it retroactively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the April, month of April.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
yes.
Mr. Wicker? Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, I guess we'll go back to the bills. I was going to give a little follow-up on our meeting on March 28th. Keith alluded to it. We went up there in his report. He talked about the 911 meeting we went to with the partners that Lake Irving County government put on with the Bluegrass Ad District, and got a lot of updated information on some of the new technologies and the timeline. They're doing some internal changes up there that are going to make it better by the time we get there with them. So we'll get a little more detail of that maybe in the next meeting too. So go back to the bill paying if everybody's ready.
No additions.
Second?
Have a motion to pay the bill.
No additions, are there?
No additions there. We did, and I guess it might be allowed. John Arthur has requested, we'll do the motion on the bills first.
Motion to pay the bills.
Second.
Mr. Masterson?
Yes.
Mr. Caldwell?
Yes.
Mr. Wicker?
Yes.
Mr. Smothers?
Yes.
Unanimous.
Then we have one request, and John Arthur asked to be able to contribute $500 to the Leadership Lebanon Marion County program, if it's allowable.
Yeah, I've got a printout here.
Motion.
Not allowed to do that.
Allowed to do it.
Right.
Can't do that at this meeting, we'll wait till next week then. All right, anybody else got any more items of business?
No,
TA?
that looks good. Second, if nobody has anything.
I'd like for everybody to notice the clock, and see what time it is today.
And who's gone, and who's
Hey, we ought to
gone?
have special meetings every week. Oh, the last thing, did you all want to go ahead and stay on the regular schedule and have the next meeting on the 17th?
Yes, yes,
That way we'll still be 2 weeks apart between then and the next first meeting in May.
Sounds good.